Today's live stream is presented by Midway USA. That's really funny, Jeremy. I have no idea, but I hope they do well for you. So, welcome everyone to this little bit different, little change of plans from our regular Mailbag Monday. And thanks so much, everyone, for coming out. I wanted to do something a little bit different. By the way, we do a Mailbag Monday every Monday at 3 p.m. Central. If you have questions for me, don't be afraid. Shoot me an email, k8mrd@icloud.com. And if I know the answer to your questions, they very well could be featured on an episode of Mailbag Monday. But this day is a little bit different. I've had some of these questions. I have a folder called Mailbag Monday on my desktop that I keep all the questions in. Generally, I'm capable of learning or answering these questions or learning about the subject and providing what I would think is a halfway decent answer. But these kind of have me, I won't say stumped, but I want to kind of bring this to the community and please post comments down below. Let us know what you're thinking here. And, the whole goal, again, is to just spread positivity and inclusivity. There's no dumb questions. There really aren't. We all start off with nothing. And this whole amateur radio journey is all about learning and experimenting. So I don't want to keep this too long, but I do want to say I do still have, I've got 2 left, my Big Geek battery boxes. You can go to k8mrd.square.site, and I make these all by hand. Where the heck is my mouse? So we've got 30 amp hour lithium iron phosphate battery in there. You've got LED lights on the sides and on the backs. And there's the solar charge controller. Everything's fused. So shipping those to the United States only, maybe Canada, but I can't do any international shipping, unfortunately. It's just too darn expensive. So if you want one, k8mrd@icloud.com. No, that's not it. k8mrd.square.site. Went to HRO, and an FT891 followed me home. Fantastic. Would you believe my 891 is right there? I had to take it out of the car. My car's in the shop. So figured I'd take it out. So anyway, let's dive in. This first one, I think I know the answer, but I think it's a great question nonetheless. This came from one of the comments in YouTube. And Scott11B is writing, Mike, how can I make wsjtx show cusos I already made during a POTA activation? The problem I'm having is FT8 dupes. I'm using hammers for SSB, then I merge the wsjtx ADF log with hammers ADIF using ADIF master. How many times can we say ADIF? The last 2 activations I submitted, I had a few dupes. It's super annoying. Thanks. I suck at logging. So the dupes don't necessarily matter. The Parks on the Air website is going to kind of get rid of those. But is there a way? Do we know? So basically, if we go to let me get rid of this screen here. If we go here, so here's Andy's favorite mode of operating FT8. So if we go up to preferences, we can no, that's not it. I'm sorry. If we go to file, no, I will not sell the box minus the battery. We can see like open log directory. We can export a Cabrilla log, but there's no, and let's dive a little bit deeper in here. There's no way that I'm aware of to, it would be cool if like wsjtx would just kind of auto send your cusos to a logging software. So I can click on this wsjtx log ADI, and I can open that with my logging software. But do we know a way to get this to talk to one another? The other thing that I know of is if we go to, not Finder, you dummy. If we go to Preferences on a Windows, it would be Settings. But same, you get here. And oddly enough, when you it says Settings here. Under this Reporting tab, the only thing I know of that would actually do this, and this is way the heck above my pay grade, this secondary UDP server right here. So when we were doing Grid Tracker's not going to show, but yes, I mean get Grid Tracker. Grid Tracker's not going to show your contacts. It's not gonna. You still can't see all your contacts in Grid Tracker that I'm aware of. If you know of a way, do please post a comment down below. Not here in the live chat, but post a comment down below so we can share it with the whole community. So when Toads and all them guys were doing the FT8 off, you could use this secondary UDP server and have it like every time you made a cuso, it would send it to this server, and then you could go to that server and you could see. But it'd be neat to just have it go to a logging software. So Dave's saying N3FJP works with wsjtx to do auto logging. Okay. So maybe we need N3FJP, which I will never have because I'm on a Mac. Okay, so that's good. So I have no idea, but I think that would be a really, really awesome thing to have because we have this log automatically, but that's for contesting only. So is there a way we could exploit that maybe? I wonder if you could log. Where does that log? And then you can go to advanced and go to special operating thing. But I that might just send it right to Logbook of the World, and not like I would want it to go to my logging program that's called Aether, or if you have MacLogger DX or Ham Radio Deluxe, something like that. So let's see if I can unscrew what I just did and bring me back. Okay. All right. So that's question number 1. Yeah, you can export it to numbers, sure, absolutely. But he's kind of already doing that, and you probably just need to keep on top of it. WSJTX logs to DX Keeper Logger. I'm not familiar with that one, but that's a good. N3FJP is the bomb. Caches all the call signs. Okay. Set working date in Grid Tracker. All contacts will be highlighted. Why can't you comment? You should be able to. Okay, so it looks like we have some options. Nothing directly. Well, there's a few. It looks like probably not as widespread and universal as we would like. So, if they open color code settings, he can see dupes by color. Okay. So, all right. So there's some good options out there. So let's stop torturing Andy with that WSJTX screen. This next one. What's our next question? So this is about, and I'm the last guy in the world to ask about this, but I thought it was a little unique. When I run the engine, I get the ticking engine noise. He's playing radio mobile is what's going on. The noise blanker on the 891 doesn't seem to help at all. That's interesting because my noise blanker does a considerable amount of getting rid of that engine noise. The funny thing is I also set up my Pac-10 Mini on the MFJ 1910 fiberglass mast. I think that's one of the 30-foot masts. And just run the coax through the window to the radio, and I got the same noise. So this happens if I run the radio from the car battery or from a separate Bioenno battery, which tells me that it isn't coming from the power cables. It appears to be coming from the coax. No, it's coming from inside the house. Without a better solution, I bought the MFJ 915 isolator and tried that. This put a dent in the noise, but it is still present. Someone else suggested grounding my exhaust. I'm not sure what to do from here. I live in Florida, so activating a park in the car can be important because of the heat. Yeah, I kind of understand that. Hang on, let's look at Jimbo's comment here. My logging path is WSJTX, JT Alert, Grid Tracker. Okay, so you got to do all kinds of stuff for that. So I have not grounded and bonded my car, and I have an incredible amount of ignition noise if I'm operating mobile and the engine's on. Now, I don't use my car's battery. I do use my Big Geek battery box to power my 891. But even if the antenna, if I'm using something different, if I'm not using my ATOS or my Tar Heel that's on my car, I'm still going to pick up some of that engine noise because it's just RF that's there that your antenna's picking up. Correct me if I'm wrong. So would not grounding and bonding, like his friend's saying, ground it to your exhaust, and you may need to ground all your doors. Josh, Ham Radio Crash Course, did a video a few years ago on grounding and bonding with his ATOS. And I suspect that's probably what you'd need to do to get rid of that engine noise. But I haven't done that. So what say you guys? Leave some comments in the comments, and let us know what you think. And not necessarily what you think, what you know. I think is more important than that. If you actually have, real world experience in this. So if it's a petrol car, make sure the spark plugs are good and the leads are suppress ones. I don't know what that means. I don't know. It's a car. So it's ignition noise is what he's getting, I would imagine, from the spark plugs going off. I have the same thing, but my noise blanker does a decent enough job where I can still, and I rarely am actually driving down the road tuning around HF. So like my mobile situation is like I go to the park, I turn the engine off, I open the doors, I kick my feet out, and I'm relaxed. Well, thanks for playing 45 Auto. Actual knowledge, yes. I was leaving a comment. That's interesting. I'll have to look at that. Well, go after the video and leave a comment. I don't know. So, all right. So we got two more. I don't want to drag this on all day. Next question. This is right up my alley, and I feel I know the answer, but you electrical engineer guys out there would probably have a better idea than I would. Is there a charge controller for my Soda Poda batteries? I don't think it matters where you're using the batteries, but both lithium-ion and lithium iron phosphate types that can be charged from a solar panel, AC, and or 12-volt DC from the car. That's a big frickin' ask right there. If there's not one ready-made already, would this be easy enough to build? And Tom Rowland is saying Victron, but then he just retracted his message. So let's think about this. So lithium-ion and lithium iron phosphate. So yes, there are charge controllers that are going to charge multiple chemistries. The BioNO charge controller that's inside Big Geek that I sell will do lead acid. It will do lithium iron phosphate. It will do lithium-ion, which is typically lithium polymer. I did a review on some other charge controller a while ago that will do. Generally, charge controllers are capable of charging different chemistries. The question is, so now he's wanting to go take a solar charge controller, plug it into your 120-volt mains, or into 12-volt DC. So if you have to, I feel this is like three things. Not Blue Eddy. Blue Eddy's a box in itself. He's like, is there a charge controller? Like a solar charge controller. I have not seen one. Yeah, that's kind of what I'm thinking. You're asking too much for one device. But that would be neat if there was an all-in-one, because basically I have all those things, but it's three different devices. I have just my regular lithium iron phosphate charger, or I have a high-tech charger that charges all the different kinds of chemistries. And that plugs into 120 volt. Then I have my solar charge controllers that are going to take that solar panel input, because the solar panel is going to put out 20 some odd volts, and your charge controller brings it down. So to go from 12 volts to and with lithium ion and lithium iron phosphate, you're two different chemistries, two different charging voltages. But so for example, I do have the I forget the name of it, but it's a little device that you plug into your car, and it's basically a boost converter that that it's not from Bioenno. Who the heck sells it? It's somewhere in one of those boxes. But you got to have all three, really. I don't think there is one that will do all that. Victro do them. What is Victro? Oh, Victron. There are Victron chargers that are going to do all that. You can use the same solar input. Well, you can't use the same solar input because if you put like 12 volts, 13.8 volts, whatever, into a solar input, it's probably not going to do anything. I know. I have a charge controller for my smaller battery box that won't even turn on until it sees about 18 or 19 volts. So get the same charge controller you use, hook up to an AC cigarette lighter adapter. Yeah, you could do that. Highly inefficient though, because you're going from 12 volts to 120 down to 13.8. But not sure if they do 120 and 240 as well. Yeah. So Paradan radio, that's what it is. Yeah, that little Paradan charger. Thanks, Steve. So these are things to think about. And electrical engineers, go invent one of those if it doesn't. Now, would it be easy enough to build? I'm going to say no. There's a lot of conversions going on in there. I'm not building one. I would definitely let the magic smoke out of that. Doesn't exist because it doesn't need to exist. I could see a use for an all-in-one if you could kind of, but it would have like inverters and it would have boost converters and buck converters. It would have a lot going on. So I don't know how small you would be able to make something like that. So, but I thought it was a good question. Certainly something to keep to think about. So, what's this last question? This one I have no idea. We have a Yaesu 891 and an ATOS 120. Antenna installed with a Diamond 400S on the front of the hood. So basically the exact same setup I have except for my antennas on my trunk. We can hear stations clearly, but they can't hear us well when we call. He did update 512 and 1615 ATOS settings. Those are menus in the horrible Yaesu menu system on the 891. If we don't have to bond the truck, great. I think you just answered your question there, though. Do you have any suggestions what our issue might be? So what would cause them to not get out other than, we're using a compromised antenna with the ATOS. We know that. Grounding and no output power. That is actually a very a very logical thing. There is your output power, is your SSB power set to 100 or whatever, So that, yeah, I reckon it ain't got no gas in it. Could be the finals, yeah. Get a better. Just anything in general, just make it better. So grounding and bonding, I know, I don't know from first experience, but it's gonna. I think grounding and bonding is gonna make the receive better and make it less noisy. Hey, Lou's Adventures, what's going on, brother? What is he saying? Or do what I done, mount a solar panel to the top of their vehicle? Yeah. Jason like W3AX. If only they would just make the roofs of the car solar panel. Lou, thanks so much for the super chat. I appreciate it, buddy. So, yeah, you could always try hamming harder. I feel you guys aren't taking this question seriously. But I don't know. Try it. You let me know. I have no idea. My stuff works well enough that I haven't gone down the road of grounding and bonding. I just can't be bothered to do it. Might Gain could do it. Is the hood composite? But that would give you a bad SWR, I would feel. Like if you don't have a good connection to the body of the car, you're not going to get a good SWR with the ATOS or the Tar Heel or any screwdriver antenna. So good things to think about. I definitely like the output power. I don't know. That's about all I got. That's why we're doing this stream, because I don't know. But I would encourage everyone to experiment. Like, that's the name of the game. The only reason I know most of the things that I know is because I love experimenting. I love getting out there and just try it. So, like, my 3D printer's going off right now. I literally just learned how to use Tinkercad last night, or probably really I started about 12 o'clock in the afternoon yesterday, because I'm designing this special project, and it's actually working. So I'm pretty excited about that. But there's literally a whole box of failure here before I succeeded. And there's actually a working prototype over there. Test the coax. That's a good thing. Not enough compression. I mean, it could just be there could be nothing wrong. Yeah, Tinkercad is pretty great. It kind of has its quirks, but I've been able to actually make some pretty cool things out of there. It could just be you're trying to get into a pileup, and there's stations with stronger signals than you. I mean, that could just be the likelihood of that. Yeah, it's a box of tears. Yes. No, I don't have any mice. Yeah, so it is a box of shame. I don't have any shame. I don't care. I'm not afraid to screw up. I literally have a thing I wrote years ago on my tool bench. It says, the greatest thing about failure is we get to learn more. That's what keeps me going every day, because I fail a lot. You guys that have seen my live streams know very well. Oh, geez. 2 hours into a 3D print the other day and he transmitted on 20 and stopped dead in its tracks. Receive okay, yes. Transmit bad, yes. It's the radio. It could be. I would absolutely check everything you're saying. You know, are you actually putting power out? Is your power turned up? Those would be the first two things I'm looking at. But what's your SWR looking like? Somebody said the coax. I think that's good. But again, if you have coax problems, you're going to have SWR problems. I feel like I had a short the other day in some coax, and I'm like, why is my SWR sucking all of a sudden? So, I'm going to say check all of those things. But it is very likely your system is working just fine, and unfortunately, we just don't get to break all the pileups we want to. Go QRP. QRP seems to break through the pileups. It can. You can. I get QR people. QRP people. Should we call them that? Yeah, follow the KISS method. Keep it simple, stupid. Exactly. So, let me know what you guys think. Can you use your earrings as a counterpoise? Oh, boy, we got a troll. What kind of stupid comment is that? Look at this idiot. They all come out of the woodwork. So, yeah, screw you, buddy. So that's all I got. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. If you have questions, shoot me an email, k8mrd@icloud.com, and you can support me on Patreon, patreon.com/k8mrdradio and you can buy your very own Big Geek battery box at k8mrd.square.site. We will see you when we see you later, guys, if I can figure out. Oh, there's the end button. See ya.